From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.
Good day. This is Dateline Malacañang. Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. departed for Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia on Sunday to attend the 46th Association of Southeast Asian Nations or ASEAN Summit, where regional leaders are expected to draw up a collective response to the United States or US's new tariff measures. Before boarding his flight at Villamor Air Base in Pasay City, the president revealed that informal consultations had already begun among ASEAN leaders, signaling a shift in the bloc's economic posture amid rising global trade tensions. While ASEAN remains a diverse group with varying trade dependencies, President Marcos stressed the need to build consensus. The unexpected trade angle adds new urgency to the high-level meetings, which were initially framed around the summit's core theme, inclusivity and sustainability. Beyond trade, President Marcos said the Philippines would continue championing ASEAN's central role in addressing regional challenges, including tensions in the South China Sea, the Myanmar crisis, and the governance of emerging technologies like artificial intelligence or AI. The chief executive underscored the importance of developing a regional framework for ethical and responsible AI grounded in shared ASEAN values.
At this summit, I will join fellow ASEAN leaders in reaffirming our commitment to ASEAN centrality as we navigate pressing regional and global challenges, including developments in the South China Sea, the situation in Myanmar, threats to regional peace and maritime security, as well as the far-reaching impacts of climate change, economic volatility, and digital disruption. I will add to the list of issues the discussions which we will continue, as we have already had preliminary discussions with the chair of ASEAN, Malaysia, specifically PM Anwar, on the response, the proper response of ASEAN as a group towards the new tariff schedule that is being imposed by the United States. And as I said, we have already made informal consultations with our fellow member states and their representatives, with the chairman, PM Anwar, on this subject, as it is something that we have to discuss and it's something that we have to respond to. And considering the many different situations that the member states of ASEAN have concerning concerning trade and specifically the tariff schedule imposed by the United States, we must find a way to find consensus amongst the disparate situations that the different member states are operating under. But I will continue to champion our advocacies in promoting an open, an inclusive, and rules-based international order, and for the peaceful resolution of disputes in accordance with international law. I will also highlight the Philippines' commitment to the development of a common regional framework for ethical and responsible AI, or artificial intelligence, aligned with ASEAN values.
According to the Department of Foreign Affairs, or DFA, President Marcos will attend the plenary and retreat sessions of the summit, meet with ASEAN parliamentarians, youth and business leaders, and witness the signing of the Kuala Lumpur Declaration on ASEAN 2045. The Philippine president will also chair the 16th Brunei, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines East Asian Growth Area or BIMP-IAGA Summit and join the ASEAN GCC and ASEAN GCC China summits. Bilateral meetings with leaders of Laos, Kuwait, and Vietnam are also possible on the sidelines. During President Marcos's absence, Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin heads the government's caretaker committee alongside Justice Secretary Jesus Crispin Remulla and Agrarian Reform Secretary Conrad Estrella III.
Dateline Malacañang.
Meanwhile, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. and First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos on Sunday arrived at the Bunga Raya VIP complex at the Kuala Lumpur International Airport in Malaysia at 5:41 in the afternoon on board Philippine Airline or PAL Flight PR001. Among the cabinet members that accompanied the first couple in the flight were Presidential Communications Office or PCO Secretary J. Ruiz, Department of Trade and Industry or DTI Secretary Maria Cristina Roque, and Mindanao Development Authority or MINDA Chairperson Leo Magpayo. The President on Monday will start his participation at the 46th Association of Southeast Asian Nations or ASEAN Summit in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Among President Marcos's agenda during the summit are 9 leaders-level engagements where he is expected to attend several of them. The chief executive will be joined by other leaders of ASEAN member states and other dialogue partners. Malaysian Prime Minister Dato Seri Anwar Ibrahim will serve as this year's summit chair with the theme Inclusivity and Sustainability, which reflects Malaysia's objective to promote a more inclusive region where development is equal and no one is left behind.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin has directed the Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission, or PAOCC, to hasten the arrest of former police officer Rafael Dumlao III, who was found guilty in the killing of South Korean businessman Ji Ik-ju in 2016. This is amid the appeal of the Korean embassy and community in the country, wherein Bersamin underscored that it is time to arrest Dumlao, who is currently in hiding, following the Court of Appeals reversal of the Pampanga Regional Trial Court's decision last year that acquitted Dumlao in 2019. According to Bersamin, the case was reopened following his meeting with PAOCC Undersecretary Gilbert Cruz along with representatives of the Korean Embassy. The Executive Secretary insisted that it is quite alarming that the crime happened inside the Philippine National Police or PNP's headquarters at Camp Crame in Quezon City, and Dumlao has yet to be found even though there is a final decision on his case. Bersamin said the Bureau of Immigration or BI confirmed that Dumlao is still in the Philippines. That's why a manhunt was ordered. According to Executive Secretary Bersamin, this is his commitment with the Korean community. Bersamin also assured that it is not necessary to declare Dumlao a fugitive because his verdict is final and executory.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. pledged to give his full support to Filipino athletes as he officially opened the 65th Palarong Pabansa at Ferdinand E. Marcos Sr. Memorial Stadium in Lawag City, Ilocos Norte Province on Saturday evening. In his speech, the president called on the grade school and secondary student athletes to give their best. President Marcos said, win or lose, they are already considered champions because of their impressive sports skills and dedication to win the competition. The chief executive advised them to take care of their health and keep chasing their dreams until they become successful. President Marcos Jr. said that in the future, some of them could be the country's representatives to international competitions.
Magandang halimbawa kayo sa kabataang Pilipino na may pangarap sa buhay at determinasyon upang matupad ito. Kami naman sa pamahalaan, hanggat sa abot ng aming makakaya, ginagawa po namin ang lahat para matulungan kayong maging mahusay na manlalaro. Ngayong araw, dito sa palarong pambansa, kayo naman ang kasali. Sa susunod, kayo na ang kinatawan ng Pilipinas sa Asian Games at saka sa Olympics. Kaya paghusayan ninyo. Pwede kayo, meron. Malay natin, dito sa mga kasama natin na ito, meron dyan na lilitaw na Manny Pacquiao, na Heidelin Diaz, na Carlos Yulo, na Ira Villegas, na Nesty Petesio, na EJ Obiena, o Alex Ayala. Si Heidelin, nandito pa tayo, kasama natin dito ngayon. Idol, Heidelin, mabuhay ka. Malaking ang dangal na dinala mo sa ating minamahal ng bansa. Tulad nila, ipagpatuloy lang ninyo ang inyong pangarap. Mag-training araw-araw, mag-aral ng mabuti, sumunod kayo sa inyong mga magulang at alagaan ninyo ang inyong kalusugan. Ang gobyerno ay laging nasa likod ninyo. Tutulungan namin kayong maabot ang inyong mga pangarap. Dahil ang pangalo ninyo, panalo na rin namin. Pero higit sa pagkapanalo, mas mahalagang matutunan ninyo ang disiplina, ang halaga ng pagkikipagkaibigan at ang mag-enjoy naman sa inyong favorite sport, manalo man o matalo. Tandaan ninyo, ang taong lumalaban hindi natatalo. Losers are those who fail to try. Winners are those who try. And maybe they fail, but then they try again and do not stop trying until they win and succeed.
This year's Palarong Pambansa or National Games features 24 regular sports, including athletics, basketball, volleyball, gymnastics, taekwondo, and swimming. Weightlifting will be introduced as a demonstration sport, while kickboxing, girls football, and girls futsal will be held as exhibition events. A special category for athletes with disabilities also highlights events in para-athletics, para-swimming, bocce, and goalball. Around 15,000 delegates from 20 athletic associations, including the country's 18 regions, the National Academy of Sports, and Philippine Overseas Schools will participate from May 25 to 30. With the theme, Nagkakaisang Kapuluan or United Archipelago, the annual National Scholastic Competition aims to promote physical education, discover emerging athletic talent, and foster camaraderie and national pride among student athletes from diverse backgrounds.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin over the weekend said the Marcos administration's digitalization efforts are key to achieving transparency and accountability in government. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s two-pronged approach streamlines and digitalizes government processes to eliminate avenues for corruption and guarantee full public disclosure. Bersamin said in a column published in the local newspaper Philippine Star. Bersamin said this strategy recognizes a fundamental truth. Corruption thrives in opacity, while transparency fosters integrity. The executive secretary added that the Philippines' experience offers valuable lessons on how digital transformation empowers citizens, creates transparency, and establishes accountability. Bersamin, however, echoed President Marcos's previous statement that digital transformation would not defeat corruption, as deeper cultural change is needed to advance the fight against any irregularities in government. Executive Secretary Bersamin also stressed the need to continue collaborating with international partners such as the United Nations, noting that the Philippines' partnership with the UN Office on Drugs and Crime, or UNODC, has been instrumental in strengthening the country's reform agenda. He added that the country's continued engagement with UN Convention Against Corruption, or UNCAC, processes is crucial in ensuring that the government truly serves those it is meant to represent by building public institutions worthy of our people's trust. Bersamin cited that the passage of the new Government Procurement Act, or NGPA, in 2024, which resulted from the collaboration with the UNODC, enhances the Philippine Government Electronic Procurement System, or PhilJEPS, and introduced an innovative e-marketplace modeled after popular e-commerce platforms. He also highlighted a key innovation in the NGPA, which mandates all prospective bidders, suppliers, contractors, and consultants to identify the ultimate owners before participating in government procurement. Bersamin said the disclosure requirement also helps reveal hidden conflicts of interest that might compromise the integrity of the procurement process. With the sustained reforms, the Philippines now ranks 6th among 18 countries in the Asia-Pacific Digital Nations Index and leader in Southeast Asia in digital governance.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Presidential Communications Office, or PCO, over the weekend said Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has instructed concerned agencies to collaborate with the private sector to fast-track the establishment of more public school classrooms in Ilocos region. President Marcos stressed the need to pursue public-private partnerships, or PPPs, to speed up the construction of additional classrooms in the region during a meeting with the Regional Development Council in Dagupan City, Pangasinan Province on Friday. In a statement, the PCO said, President Marcos said that public infrastructure and development projects can be implemented faster and at lower government costs by entering into contracts with the private sector through PPP. The chief executive said such arrangements should be used again to accelerate the construction of classrooms. The Department of Education, or DepEd, has proposed the construction of nearly 3,000 classrooms in the Ilocos region from 2025 to 2030. President Marcos acknowledged the DepEd's efforts to boost literacy rate in the Ilocos region, which is traditionally higher than the national average. Under its budget plan for 2026, the DepEd proposed the hiring of more school principals, administrative officers, school counselor associates, and project development officers for the region. The DepEd is also filling up vacant teaching positions in the region while carrying out the annual creation and deployment of teaching items.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Philippines will continue supporting Timor-Leste's membership bid to become a regular member of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN, incoming Foreign Affairs Secretary Maria Teresa Lazaro reaffirmed on Saturday evening. Lazaro, currently the Foreign Affairs Undersecretary for Bilateral Relations and ASEAN Affairs, represented Manila in the ASEAN Senior Officials Meeting on May 24th in preparation for the 46th ASEAN Summit and related meetings in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. In an expost, Lazaro said, the senior officials discussed the importance of strengthening ASEAN centrality while expanding strategic partnerships, adding that ASEAN is also committed to supporting Timor-Leste's accession process and contributing to ASEAN Community Vision 2045 implementation. The bloc had granted the young nation an observer status and allowed its participation in all of its meetings, including summit plenaries. In a November 2022 statement, the ASEAN leaders agreed in principle to admit Timor-Leste to be the 11th member of the bloc. The Department of Foreign Affairs, or DFA, earlier said Timor-Leste's accession to the bloc is on the agenda in the coming ASEAN meetings. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. will attend the 46th ASEAN Summit and related meetings in Malaysia on May 26 and 27. Current ASEAN members are Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, the Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam.
Dateline Malacañang.
And finally, for foreign exchange rates as of May 23rd, the United States dollar stands at 55 pesos and 64 centavos. The Japanese yen is at 39 centavos, the British pound at 74 pesos and 71 centavos, Hong Kong dollar at 7 pesos and 11 centavos, the Swiss franc at 67 pesos and 11 centavos, Canadian dollar at 40 pesos and 14 centavos, Singaporean dollar at 43 pesos and 6 centavos, Australian dollar at 35 pesos and 66 centavos, the Bahrain dinar at 147 pesos and 62 centavos, Saudi Arabian Riyal at 14 pesos and 84 centavos, Brunei dollar at 42 pesos and 89 centavos, the Thai baht at 1 peso and 70 centavos, the United Arab Emirates dirham at 15 pesos and 15 centavos, the euro at 62 pesos and 78 centavos, Korean won at 4 centavos, Chinese yuan at 7 pesos and 72 centavos, the Argentinian peso at 5 centavos, Brazilian real at 9 pesos and 73 centavos, Danish kroner at 8 pesos and 82 centavos, and 1 Indian rupee is equivalent to 65 centavos.
Dateline Malacañang.
And that concludes this edition of Dateline Malacañang. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, this is Leo Magpayo. Good day and stay safe.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.